take our in, no one ever wins. Where do we begin? Are we meant to be, or just meant to be? The argument, oh, oh, oh. The argument, oh, oh, oh. It's just a misunderstanding. Can we take it back? Call off the attack. And what if we redo it all? Would it happen again? Maybe never end. Are we meant to be, or just meant to be? The argument. That wasn't me. That was someone that I used to be. All I want is to love you endlessly. It's just a stupid argument. If we could see ourselves, maybe we could tell we're both right and wrong. So just kiss me now, let's take our bow. Are we meant to be, or just meant to be? Yeah, we're meant to be, really meant to see this argument. Oh, oh, oh. The argument. Oh, oh, oh. The argument. Oh, oh, oh. The argument. Oh, oh, oh.
I just wish we could redo this whole night so that you could see how wrong you are.
Yeah, I wish we can redo the whole night so we can see how wrong you are.
Oh gosh, we're hugging again.
Drinks.
Good night, everyone.
Lisa and I had an argument last night, and then to figure out who was right, we decided to do over the entire night.
Exactly the way it was.
So that's why we're here.
Oh yeah, and then Sarah wanted to leave.
I was tired.
Just wanted to give you toast.
And then Trina got herself another drink.
Oh God.
Trina, what are you doing?
We're gonna find out who's right. Hello? We're going to find out who's right.
No more hugging!
I can't drink it anymore.
Have to drink, Trina. Ready, pick, Trina! All right! Enough, I'm done.
That is why we need to redo this exactly the way it was.
Would the actors please enter?
I am Trina.
Excuse me?
Is this some sort of weird, gross, like, casting couch orgy or something?
Is it cool if I take my shirt off?
I made a pie. I'm acting.
Imagine having an argument with her. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Dan Fogler 4D Xperience. Wherever you are joining us along the vast worldwide Nerdbot Media Network, thank you for doing so. It is our pleasure to have you. We have got a phenomenal show for you guys today. We are going to be talking all sorts of things, but we will come down to a battle of the best mafia films of all time. Coming up in our guest spots, we have a couple of great guys for you. We got Robert Schwartzman, and then we have Michael Imperioli. But first, please welcome the man all the way from the UK with a brand new stash. It's Dan Fogler. Loving the music.
How you doing, Bernie? Bernie, I just want to thank Bernie and the whole Bregman family, and I want to thank my audience for coming out tonight to participate in Dan Fogler for the Xperience podcast. I also want to thank Alvin Zuleta and for having a remotely Italian-sounding name. And I want to thank Nerdbot for hosting us. I want to apologize for doing a Coppola reference while wearing a Scorsese shirt. I also want to say...
Why you busting my balls, Dan? Why you busting my balls? Huh? What'd I do to you? What'd I do to you, Dan? Why you gotta bust my balls? You gotta wear that Scorsese here.
I gotta ask
you. Got a Coppola coming on. You wear a Scorsese.
I gotta ask you something there, Bernie. So I had to do this. I had to do this mustache.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our brand new show, Men with Mustaches.
No, that is not our brand new show. We look like Super Troopers. I don't want people to tune in and just be like, "Holy shit, it's a bust!" What did you say? What did you say?
Littering and smoking the reefer.
What was that? I never seen Super Troopers. I just seen the poster.
Oh my God, Dan, you just got to get baked and watch Super Troopers. It's so funny.
Is it that good?
It's really funny. It's great stoner humor. Good bits. I quite enjoy that one.
Did you like
you gotta, I feel like they're your kindred spirits. You gotta meet the Broken Lizard team and do some stuff. There's some funny guys. They've got a show, Tacoma Fire Department, where it's two of the leads. They're like in the fire department in some small town, and they just like prank each other all the time and do funny shit. It's hilarious.
Good for them. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. This is a very special 40 Xperience episode. If you like gangster movies, it's like one of my favorite genres. We're going to be talking about how random is it that we decide to do this, and then I find out it's the 30th anniversary of the Godfather Part 3. Okay, and Coppola is doing a director's cut for the anniversary.
Have any of those?
But what's the synchronicity is amazing.
It is.
I think
it's fantastic. And to go back into that, and it, usually that group of directors, right? That 70s, 80s, the Zoetrope group, right? The Coppolas and Scorsese and Lucas and Spielberg, that kind of like Kubrick class, if you will. Kubrick, absolutely. They don't generally go back and do like the whole director's cut thing or any of that stuff. They're like, they did their thing, boom. So I think it's also momentous that
I don't know. You can't put Lucas in that category.
Well,
right?
no, Lucas is never done. Lucas is never done. But the rest of those guys, they did their thing, and that's more of a couple generations later, the guys that go back and the studio jam.
Did you like mobster movies growing up? You like mob movies, man? You like gangster movies?
I did. Untouchables is one of my favorites.
Is that your favorite one?
It probably is, but that's also before I'd been exposed to Godfather and Goodfellas, because when they came out it was a little heavy for my age. And so Untouchables first, and that's more police driven. You got the righteous Elliot Ness thing.
You
going
look
on.
like are you in that right now? Is that what you're going for? Is that what you're doing?
I didn't realize that I'm kind of Connery right now, right? Just
kinda
like a wasp
yeah.
brings a knife to a gunfight.
You're just Jesus,
but
man. You're fucking.
What are you
You are.
prepared to do about it?
You're
No, I was
authentic.
I was actually feeling more Peaky Blinders. It's a show I love on Netflix with Cillian Murphy.
Aye, Skipper.
Yeah, his brother Arthur is a Peaky fucking Blinders.
Meow, see? I'm a cat, see? Meow.
Wow.
Meow, see? I'm a cat, see? Meow. Meow, see?
Uh,
Who is that? Is that which mobster is that?
that's Cagney, right? See?
No, that's
That's
not.
like- isn't that-
no, I don't
that's not
think that's
Cagney?
Cagney. I want to
like-
say it's like the other guy with the face like
Yeah,
this.
see?
Meow. Meow. Someone will tell us.
You're gonna wear
But-
cement shoes, see?
But Cagney, man. Okay, so here's the thing. Here are some of my favorite mob films that didn't make your fancy bracket. Okay, Bernard.
Ah.
I don't know.
Controversy.
I don't know,
Controversy
Bernie.
at the top of the show.
You may fold under questioning, Bernie.
I'm
I don't know about
glad that 420 is in 5 minutes, so you can take a smoke break and chill.
Why you telling? Am I a little too amped up for you right now?
No,
Is that what you
I
say?
feel like I'm about to. I missed some stuff in the bracket. I feel like I'm gonna get it. Okay, what were the films? There were a lot of films I thought could make it, right? And
I don't know.
and you know,
I don't know. You missed some. You missed some film. You missed some films in the bracket. You missed some films in the bracket, Bernie. I just realized that's why De Niro got young Vito Corleone because,
Corleone is like this.
and then De Niro, it's the same. You see how that works? You missed. Okay.
Yeah.
You missed Miller's Crossing.
What I missed.
You missed Miller's Crossing.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
New
Dante
Jack City's not on
Toro,
there.
fight in your
LA
heart. Fight in your heart.
LA Confidential.
Oh, LA Confidential, yeah.
LA Confidential. It's a good movie.
Mean Streets.
Mean
Come
Streets
on.
is not on there.
It's not on there.
I just posted the bracket
You know
to
why? 'Cause you're
Facebook
a
like a
fucking
couple hours ago.
jerk
I'm
off.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna people were already crying controversy. Like I have so many comments of what's
should.
not on there, right?
Carlito's Way. True
Carlito's Way is
Romance.
not on here.
Okay, for
Mhm.
Cagney, make sure you see Public Enemy, Angels with Dirty Faces, see fucking
Yep.
White Heat, King of New York. Hey, Abel Ferrar's best movie, Bernie. Gotta see it. You ever seen that movie, Bernie?
I've
King of
not
New York?
seen King of New York. I've seen Gangs of New York and Once Upon a Time in America is all around New York, right?
Where?
Most of
Yeah,
it's
a
around
lot-
here. A lot of that.
A lot of
It's like New
gangster
York or
movies
Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of movies take place in New York. But for some reason, you left out King of New York. I don't know. I'm being an asshole. Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. How do,
Yeah.
do they fit? Do they fit in there? I mean, I guess it's not. It's
I
not
feel
really
like okay, so I
mafia,
kind of
but-
gave no, and then as someone today was trying to start a debate with me about the difference between gangster and mafia and like the whole Italian Sicilian thing is like one deal and then gangster is a different. I don't know. I think there's some crossover. I gave kind of a nod, so I've got like the Guy Ritchie action going on in the bracket, and we're
Right.
gonna have Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, right?
Yeah.
And
Legend. Tom Hardy was very good. He's played the two
Yep.
brothers.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah. Snatch is in here too, and it doesn't quite fit the mold, but like I didn't want to play too much with like going outside. I wanted to give the nod to like the UK.
I appreciate you wanted to give a nice spectrum. I dig it. I
Right?
dig it.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what I'm going to put on the list that I saw a million times that is technically a mobster movie?
What's that?
Johnny Dangerously. You remember Johnny Dangerously?
Johnny Dangerously. It had a lot. Okay. Johnny Dangerously had a good amount of votes when I did the fan polls to create the bracket. So there's definitely, it just wasn't as much. Man, people were super passionate. And,
wow.
We could have gone to a field of 32 and then
That
fan
warms my
voted down to
heart.
16.
Well, you can't really put
I
Johnny
just-
Dangerously in there. You can't put Johnny Dangerously in there. It's
No,
like
there's some.
it's
there's a
like
little
putting
love
like
there.
Young Frankenstein in, with
Right.
the horror movies. It's hard. To
Yeah.
do that. You can't really do that. Johnny Dangerously, there's no bloodshed, but it's my goodness, it's Keaton doing his best Cagney. I'll tell you that right now.
Keaton's so good.
He's fantastic. He can do no wrong. So happy he's coming back to be Batman. Holy shit.
You know, I just, before we go all gangster, I read something exciting. There was a little news about your guy Ezra's Flash film. And just that in addition to what we've already heard, that Affleck and Keaton will play variations of Batman, they're going to run like a pretty big DC spectrum in that film and play with the whole Flashpoint, similar to what the show did on the CW, the Grant Gustin show. But they're going to have, there's been tons of rumors, nothing else confirmed yet, but they did say we will introduce a lot of characters from previous DC incarnations and new characters in their new, it's not just going to stay in the two cameos we've heard about and in the current DC EU continuity. So they're going to have some fun with it, which is really great to hear as a fan.
That's awesome, dude. Where did you grow up, man? I grew up in Brooklyn. Where did you grow up?
LA.
I'm
one of the 5 people born and bred in Los Angeles and didn't migrate here.
I grew up in suburban Brooklyn in Bergen Beach, amongst some interesting individuals, some gangsters, Russian and Italian. These people I played with their kids outside, you know, and it was a very peaceful, usually a very peaceful neighborhood, but every once in a while, you know, funky things would happen. Maybe we'll get into that a little later
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I got to hear about that.
Yeah, I have a couple stories where it was just like, oh, you know, very, you know, normal childhoods growing up in the 80s. But then like you'd wake up one day and you'd see, you know, cop cars at the end of the block and be like, oh, what's going on over at the, you know, that household? It happens.
So I will say this, I have an East Coast crime connection.
Sure you want to talk about this right now?
Whatever. They're all gone. Okay. Yeah, I'll save it. I'll save it in a little bit. We'll cue that back.
Oh, it is 420.
Family connection.
Ooh.
It is 420. So Dan, enjoy yourself for a couple of minutes, and I'm going to do a little educating of the people.
Prego.
We're going to talk about OG. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is 4:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Wherever you are, you can celebrate 420 with us because it's 420 somewhere all the time. So smoke them if you got them, whatever way you do it. If you like the edibles, if you like to consume, if you like to hit the vape, or if you're a traditionalist and you like the weed, whether you roll it up, you pop it into a bong, you do the apple core pipe, it's all good, whatever you do. I am going to educate you on OG Kush. So when it comes to strong indica strains, few varieties have been more consistently popular than OG Kush, but the OG weed is a long-running staple of the California and global cannabis scene. It's a heavy-handed hit of THC with a pungent smell of gasoline, pine, and skunk. I know it sounds so tasty, but it's about the effects, right? But there's a lot of urban legends about the OG moniker. Now, OG does not stand for original gangster, which would be funny considering our show today. It is actually ocean grown. So like most cannabis stories, the first rumor about OG cannabis takes us to Northern California back in the early 1990s when a legacy weed grower had been cultivating a particularly pungent strain of Kush, originally bred in Southern California's beautiful San Fernando Valley. One day, the farmer had a chance encounter with a local man bragging about some really good bud. After the grower saw and smelled his new friend's weed, he immediately recognized it as the very same strain that he was growing. When the stranger boasted that the cannabis was so good because it was mountain grown, the knowledgeable cultivator politely corrected him, saying that it was actually ocean grown, thanks to the strain's birthplace on the Pacific coast. As legend has it, that meeting and subsequent smoke sessions led the mountain grower to rename his Kush after the coincidental correction. And as the bud grew more popular, the story suggests the name had so much sticking power that it not only moved around the Emerald Triangle and Northern California, back to the strain's SoCal birthplace in San Fernando Valley, and eventually across the globe. So that is the history of OG Kush. And there's a lot of OG different weeds. There's a lot of weeds that are members of that OG family. Skywalker certainly comes to mind as one of the favorites. I know Dan is more of a sativa guy, but I thought I would just give you guys a little balanced education today on the OG Kush, that indica. And in case you're forgetting which one takes you high and which one takes you low, just remember indica means in the couch. That means pass out mode. I'm pretty sure the Munchies comes with all of the above, but I hope you guys enjoyed that little trip down weed education lane. I'm a big believer, while I'm not a consumer, a big believer in destigmatization of cannabis. It is no more harmful to you than alcohol, in fact, much less so, or cigarettes, which are readily available everywhere. It is only political reasons that keep it, and greed, that keep it from being federally legal everywhere. So don't hate your friends that hit the weed. They're not doing anything bad at all. Don't be on that high horse. Just enjoy, let people be, live and let live, yada, 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 yakety schmackety, enjoy the smoker. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments section, what's up? I want to say hi to Sarah and Rhonda. What's up to Caprice Connolly? Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. What's up to Rai Jimenez? Enjoying the weed education lane. I love that. Caprice throwing down the Bugsy Malone as one of the films that didn't make it in there. Those cute little kids. Sarah saw the argument the other day. We're gonna be talking the argument with Robert, and in fact, I'll tell you a little sneak peek at a next show that we have coming up. I want to say it's the 29th. We will have an entire show about the argument, so that's gonna be fun. A lot of the cast will be here, and then later after that, the following week is gonna be a Walking Dead show with a bunch of Walking Dead cast. So that's gonna be fun, folks. Do us a favor wherever you are, please share, and share some more. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, please click that share button, tag a few friends that enjoy gangsta films and weed and entertainment, and bring them in and give them a good time. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can share that YouTube link anywhere you are. It's going to be pretty cool. Producer Elvin, if you, sir, can cue up the Brooklyn Gladiator commercial, we are going to show you guys a little bit of the Brooklyn Gladiator and be right back with Dan. And then we're going to have Robert Schwartzman join us. So producer Elvin is going to get that Brooklyn Gladiator ready for you. And give us just a second. We're going to roll that. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Gladiator, Dan's new graphic novel.
Are you tired of not having the 40 Xperience podcast and videocast in your life?
Yeah.
You love comic books, posters, and signed photos of Dan Fogler, don't you?
Well, who doesn't?
Well, why the hell aren't you checking out www.foglersfiction.com right now?
All right, I will.
Repeat it.
Huh?
Repeat it so I know you know it.
www.foglersfiction.com.
That's right. You like petting unicorns?
Sure do.
Okay, bye.
What?
www.foglersfiction.com. One-stop shopping for all your Fogler needs.
I'm still here. Hello? What?
December 2033. I don't have much time. Something's happening to the sun, but the system's trying to hide the changes from us. They'll do anything to keep the status quo, even block out the sky with the constant chem fog, and hypnotize us with super drugs and an endless feed of mindless entertainment, all enforced by a nanite-enhanced police department trained to kill first and never ask questions. I'm John Miller, running for my life. You may not know it yet, but I'm humanity's last hope. And I'm getting the hell out before the whole shithouse goes up in flames. They call me the Brooklyn Gladiator. Follow me if you want to live.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from our 420 break. And you guys just saw clips of the Brooklyn Gladiator and the 4D Xperience. Don't forget, you can download that 4DX on the iTunes and Spotify, and you can listen to lots of awesome shows. Dan doing his thing, sitting down with some great guests. There's literally just an anthology of amazing, amazing content for you guys to dive through. So check that out. Dan's back, having just had some of the UK mystery weed.
I'm pretty sure
it's like, hey, what?
Pretty sure it's
all right. That'll do. Good enough identification.
Yeah, for me. I'm not picky out here. So that commercial, Brooklyn Gladiator, Fogler's Fictions, www.foglersfiction.com. Do you know why, Bernard? It is very important. I have finally sent out the Fogler Fiction fun packs to people. Okay, after all this time,
Fictions fun packs.
Dude. So
that 5 times fast.
Don't. You'll hurt yourself. So I sent them out, and people will be getting them. They have comic books, they have posters, they have signed pictures of me. And I know it took me a long time, but these are the winners of the cosplay contests that we've been doing over the last couple of months. And so you will bear the fruit of your experiences. Yay. Okay, so we have
all right.
And alrighty then. We have our mustaches are insane. We should put together some kind of maybe we should do an acrobat like routine or something, like the Hoopa brothers. Hoopa! And like you'll stand on my shoulders, and then I'll stand on your shoulders. We can do that now. I'm much lighter than I used to be.
Yes. You're a leaf on the wind.
Let me hear you go, Hoopa!
Hoopa!
Holy shit, man. I think we got a future.
The Flying Graysons? No?
Our first
that didn't end well.
I don't know if I could. Yeah, I can't fit the tights. The Flying Graysons. That's crazy. We're Robin's gay parents. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Hey!
Hi, Dick. How are you?
Stop it. Here we go. So wonderful introduction. We got Robert Schwartzman. Robert Schwartzman, who is an awesome person. I got a wonderful chance to be directed by the gentleman. If you heard his music from his band Rooney playing in the beginning of the introduction, and then the commercial came after for the argument. So are people digging the argument, man? Like you said, there were some people that saw.
Some people have seen the argument. Sarah was letting us know, she's in the chat. Sarah McCullough has seen the argument and quite enjoyed. And the movie was so cute. Was her comment there? I can't wait till we talk with the whole cast and we share stories about dumb relationship arguments.
Well, that's funny. We're gonna bring on as much as the cast as we possibly can. When is that? September 12th?
29th, I believe that was.
Right. Yes. Today is September 12th. I'm on.
Glad you're with us, Dan. Glad you're with us.
I'm on mustache. So we're gonna bring Robert in here. He is a man of all seasons. He is a director. He is a writer. He is a music man, and he has some stories about living around the Coppola Casa. You should definitely check out the 4D Xperience podcast that I do with him. He goes very deeply into his growing up and his directing, but here we're going to bring him on to talk to him specifically about his Coppola familia relationships. Here we go, Robert. Where's my man here?
Here he comes. It's Robert Schwartzman. Oh, with a fabulous background. Look at that mensch on the screen behind him right there.
Who is that? Is that me? Look at that. Look how handsome I am.
You like that?
You are shamelessly promoting this. It looks like I'm dipping you, brother.
Good. You are dipping me, Dan. You dipped me, Dan. Can I say that?
Yes.
You dipped me.
How are you, bro?
There is no FCC to restrict you here, Robert.
Thank you very much. I can say dipped, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
over and over again, like we've been doing.
Dip, dip, dip,
Is this
ding, ding,
gonna,
ding.
I thought I'd put a clever background back there. Is this going to distract you?
No, I love it. I mean, it's this is what we do here. There's already been a commercial. We're plugging the movie, man. That's great.
Okay, good. Well, I'll take it off. But if you're recording right now, everybody, this is the movie.
Yeah.
The argument. There it is.
That's great. We don't have to talk about it.
Fun. All right. But I'm really here. That's not really the background.
Right. I was going to say.
I'm not really standing in front of a poster.
Exactly. There is no poster. You really are in front of a poster.
Yeah, I just moved it out of the way.
Holy crap! You're in LA now, and I understand that the skies are burning in LA now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I'm looking outside the window right now, and it's as if there's a fog. It's as if it's morning fog. Imagine low morning fog, right? But then imagine it slightly different, like a little bit orange yellow color. It's kind of like a weird sci-fi futuristic.
It's like 5 steps from Silent Hill. I'm up in San Fernando Valley, and it's
you're seeing it too. Yeah. It's like it's trying to describe. It's like
someone on Instagram put the weather that's in San Francisco next to like a clip from Blade Runner, and it was like the same exact color.
I was gonna say it's like Blade Runner. Sorry, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I was looking for the movie. Sorry.
No, it's insane. You walk outside and you think that you're standing next to a barbecue, just breathing in.
Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't been outside, but I just went near the door, and there was just like what looked to be little flakes, like ash, on the ground inside the house on the floor, like little specks. Anyway.
So
what a day, Dan. How are you, Dan?
Is it time? You guys are so laid back about it. I would be like, let's pack the bags and just be like near the middle of the line.
There's just these days have been feeling, like repetitive because I've been inside a lot of the time. I haven't really left this bubble that is the house. It's like a spaceship. It's like living on a spaceship. But also, I feel like living in California and growing up in California, there are a lot of wildfires. And I'm not trying to downplay this. This is like the worst one yet. I thought the last one was the worst one yet. But this one's now the worst one yet. And they're kind of all over. And I have friends in Southern Oregon who are texting me that there are crazy fires there that you've read about. So it's pretty insane. But the sad thing about the times we're living in is that you read crazy stuff, you see crazy stuff, and the more crazy stuff you experience, you become more numb. The bar gets raised on what is crazy or what should sway us, which is unfortunate because we're desensitized to the chaos that is the times we're living in. So anyway. So yeah.
Bernie, do you know how Robert got the name for his band, Rooney?
Is it Principal Rooney?
Yes.
Yes,
it is. By the way, this is one of the hats I
Rooney!
This is not a plug, by the way. This is just simply a hat that I needed.
Welcome to Plug Central. We're at Plug
Central.
There's a lot of love for the band, Robert. When I was posting the promo for the show, one of the very common comments was, "Yo, Rudy!" So
no way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We actually had Principal Rooney and Grace, his secretary, introduce us at a show.
Yeah.
Edie.
No way.
We played a show one time at the House of Blues, and there's a curtain, and it's fun to use. If there's a curtain on it at a venue, it's fun to use it because it's more dramatic.
Kidding me?
But we had Jeffrey Jones.
Talk about Eddie Bassoon.
Yeah.
Eddie Bassoon.
There just happened to be a moment where Principal Rooney and Grace were together and introduced the band by creating they did like a skit behind the curtain where they were like, Grace, like they were on mics. Yeah. And they were like, where's that Ferris Bueller? Da, 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 da. He's with those Rooney guys, isn't he?
That's great.
And the audience was like, what is happening right now? And then the curtains open and they were standing there and it was a trip for everybody.
That's great. There's
fantastic.
I love it. That's amazing. That is a pop culture goulash. Okay, so I think that there should be. I think I may form another band called Mr. Peterson, so I could.
That's cool.
And I would prank you guys. I would prank you guys on a regular basis, just so I can prank you.
Okay, start an Instagram, Mr. Peterson, and just stalk us or something. There was a band called Save Ferris, which people would be like, "Oh, you guys should play together. Oh, that's awesome." And then Sloan is one of my favorites, Canadian band.
Sloan.
Anyway, Sloan, Save Ferris, Rooney. There's a few going around.
I mean, Sloan outside in front of the school at 5 o'clock.
And I want her alone. On second thought, I want you there. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind, Rooney.
By the way, I got to not to segue into something conversationally about what maybe you want to talk about, but I got to work with why am I? Oh my God! Sorry, I was going to say Alan Rickman. And
Alan Ruck. Alan Ruck.
I got to work with Alan Ruck, who now is on Succession, and we all love that show. But he was in Dreamland, and he's like the nicest guy ever. He's so nice. He's really good. And it was a trip working with Brandon from Ferris Bueller. So
yeah, that is cool, man. You have like a lot of Ferris Bueller connections.
It's weird.
I'm glad. I'm actually.
What's wrong?
Tell me. Just tell me.
What I want to talk about.
Frozen there.
What I want to talk about. Oh, he got frozen. What I want to talk about is Godfather Part 3. So how crazy is it that I didn't know that it was going to be that it's the 30th anniversary and Coppola's doing a director's cut. Like, you know about all this?
Yeah, it was he recut it.
Have you seen it?
I have not, but my mom saw it.
Yeah.
And she was just like, said it's so good. She's like, it really came together in a way that really is just that what we all want that third one to be. It really just is that now. And it's pretty amazing because Francis has gone back and reworked a lot of his older movies. Like he'll go back and Apocalypse Now was reissued, and it's pretty amazing to watch that because it's almost like his process never ends.
Yeah,
it's almost because there was at Tribeca Film Festival 2 years ago. They at Radio City Music Hall they do one night with like an older movie. They screened Godfather 1 and 2 back to back, and I got to go, and Francis was there, and it was fun to watch it with him, and then. They had a little intermission between the first and second one. It was cool just to see you could see his mind was at work, and there was a great Q&A afterwards with the cast. It was like a reunion. But he said that after that experience, because they didn't screen the third one. So it was kind of like, oh, you're screening 1 and 2, but why not 3? And it made him want to go back and try to improve the original cut and bring things out of it that he felt would help kind of elevate that film. It's anyway. So he told me that it was after that, watching those two back to back, wanting to go back and rework number 3. It was interesting, but he's really happy with it. He says it's like it really came together.
So when is it coming out? Like Christmas or something?
Yeah, it is. It's coming out this year. And I will say, so I'll tell you the story. I have some memory of that movie just because I got to go. I was at an age where I could go on set, and I had some memories.
How old were you?
I was about 10 years old.
Okay, yeah.
And it was shot in Italy. I went to Italy with my mom and my family. I remember my mom telling me, "Don't be afraid when you see me, because I'm wearing like makeup and prosthetics, and they're making me look old."
Right.
So there was a makeup artist on set there to age her up.
Yeah.
And it was wild seeing her. I mean, she looks kind of like she looks great for her age, but she now, like the way she looks now is like the way she looked then or something. The way they made her look older, but anyway, I remember her saying that, and I remember my brother Matthew is a really good chess player, and I remember him, which is really lucky. He got to play chess with Al Pacino a lot during that.
Whoa!
So I just have memories of them playing chess, and Matt was very good.
I feel like Pacino would touch a lot of the pieces and then just be like, "Oh, no, oh." Like, never really playing.
I know. I feel like Matt said something that he was maybe was cheating a little bit. I'm not sure. I feel like that.
What the fuck is that?
Like that. I don't want to say it, but it's possible that happened. But I will say also, I remember the scene where
he cheated that.
I remember the scene where Sophia gets shot out. She gets shot and she falls on her knees and then falls down. And I just have these, as a kid, just memories of being on that set, and you take away little things, but I was too young to really have worked on the set or like had a job on the set. But it was just, I just remember sitting in a chair near a monitor and watching certain scenes get shot. And it's pretty cool. I mean,
so you saw that. I mean, you were there for the classic scene where Sophia's got the gunshot and she's just all and Pacino is frozen in time, just look at that fucking that scream. Like, how many times did you do that?
I don't know. I mean, I just remember sitting at the base of the stairs because Video Village was there,
right?
And sitting next to Francis and them running that scene over and over again. But I was too young to understand what getting coverage was, or I just remember them running through that moment and him grabbing her. And I still remember, like, as we're talking about it, when you have a memory that comes to you, but I can't really describe exactly what it was. I see it.
Yeah.
I do remember, this might sound stupid or something, but I do remember thinking that I thought, I don't know if anyone would really like die that way. Like, I remember as a kid feeling like, it just doesn't seem believable. Like the way it felt very dramatic.
It is very dramatic, that moment.
That's what it was. I mean, it's a dramatic film, and Francis is a very artful, dramatic director, and he comes from the stage. He comes from the world of theater.
Yeah.
That's where he found his love for this world and transitioned into filmmaking from being a screenwriter. But anyway, there's a beauty to his work as a director that is just amazing. And I think it all stems from his love of theater.
Huh. That's fascinating, man.
Which I know you have, your love of theater.
Yeah, I mean, I come from theater, and that moment is so incredibly dramatic.
Yeah.
I remember watching that as a kid. It's like she's like, it looks like they were directed to move in slow motion or something. And fuck, man, Coppola, what he's done. Your uncle, it's so crazy for me to what he's done in everything. He does the full spectrum. He gives you life, real fucking life, family, relationships, and the most in the same. Well, not in Godfather. It's mostly very, very real. Then these very dramatic moments, but Apocalypse Now, Dracula. I mean, it's just like. He's like a painter,
Yeah.
Fucking moon turning blood red. I remember watching that in Dracula. It's like, Apocalypse Now. When he redid that, I watched that over and over again. I was just thinking about Talia Shire, your mother, who she does the Boston Massacre. She does the massacre in the third movie with all the cannolis, right?
Right. That was another. That was a big thing. I think she really enjoyed
killing everyone.
Yeah, the poison cannoli was like a big thing for her.
Fucking brilliant. That's brilliant.
She loved it. And I will say, my mom, she's the youngest of three.
Yeah.
She was the kid sister. Frances was the middle, and my uncle August was the oldest.
August, crazy.
And but she just like really loves her brothers, you know? She's just crazy about her brothers, and is whatever bumps of just like an Italian emotional family, like very emotional Italians.
Yeah.
Creative, they're all very creative people. They're big personality, like artists, really intense. But she just really loves her brother Francis, and really loves his filmmaking. Just really is a cheerleader for him, you know? And I think she was just really happy to be part of those films. And she just really, if she were here now talking to you, she speaks so highly of him as a director. And it's great. It's really cool to see that just as siblings talking about each other like that.
When I think about your mother in those movies, and it's some of the most iconic scenes when she's fucking throwing with the plates, and she's getting beaten up, and then Santino sends Santino on a rage, and that's what gets Santino killed. Like all that, like fucking. Oh man, I have such a connection to your mother. I told you this in the podcast. Yeah, because of Rocky. In my Tony speech, people should watch that speech if they haven't seen it. But I was like, I feel like Rocky right now, and I call my girlfriend Adrian, and Jody is my wife, who's my wife right now. So there's just been a lot of connections over the years.
Yeah.
You want to see?
Amazing. I wish she was here with us right now to talk about. I mean, she's alive, but I wish she was on the podcast.
Do you think that she would want to, or is she still acting? Does she still want to act?
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny. First of all, I just would love to see you guys like hang out, because you would really, really connect. She's so funny because she'll be like, oh, I'm not acting anymore. I can't do it anymore. But then like, it's very dramatic, but then secretly I'm like, what? She's like, oh, I just finished a movie. And I'm like, wait, what? Like,
that's like a secret.
Like she paints a picture like she doesn't want to do, but it's almost like it's an insecurity or energy momentum building thing inside of her to throw it away and then want it, you know, like she wants to do it, but she says she doesn't or something. I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, you directed her a couple years back.
Yeah,
Dreamland, kind of you directed a lot of the fam.
Yeah, I did. I got to direct her in the first film I made, first feature I directed, and she played the mother of the main character, Monty, which was played by Johnny Simmons. But she played the mother character, and the mother, if you watch Dreamland, it's kind of, there's things based on, you know, you pull from your life, but it's obviously, it's fun to stretch and pull reality and do something different also on the screen. But, you know, it's when you get a message from your mother and you play it back, you know, if your mother's trying to reach you, sometimes those messages become long-winded, and like if you're not answering the phone and your mom's calling all the time, it just kind of lives in the back of your mind. And the character in the movie is constantly getting messages from his mom.
Right.
And he's kind of not, for some reason we don't know as an audience member, he's not wanting to connect. And by the end of the movie, they finally have a moment together when the lead character sort of hit his low. And it's a great moment. It's one of the more honest, emotional moments in the movie, but she's so good in it. And she, you know, I think she's been in so many great movies that people loved seeing her in that movie. And it was a real moment.
Yeah.
But it was just very real. It was very much of like how she's been with me. It was very real and honest from my own life with her. But yeah, I mean, she's incredible. I always push her. I mean, whenever I'm thinking of a movie concept, I'm always trying to think of what could I do with my mom, because I really want to see her like star in a sort of in an independent feature, but do something, because she loves, you know, like we did with The Argument, absurd, bizarre, over the top, kind of fun, physical comedy.
Would she read something that I wrote that I think she would be brilliant in? Yeah.
Of course she would.
I wrote something about my family that I think she would be excellent. You'd actually be good directing it.
Hey, you heard it here, America.
That's right. That's right. We're making films right here, right now.
Let's make it right here, right now.
You know, let's read it right now. Actually, let's do a live
table read.
We're recording, right? We're recording.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Call your mother. By the time she gets here, it'll be her part. This is perfect. Let me go
email her the Zoom link. We'll email her the Zoom link right now and just slide her in.
I will, by the way, I will also plug something. It's a Zoom conversation, and it's funny. It's relevant to her, but my family made a movie called Rad back in the 80s.
Oh.
Re-released this summer.
Nice. I remember that.
My mom plays Prue Jones' mom in it. And
crazy.
My mom did a lot of Zoom interviews for Rad, and it was fun to help her figure out how to get on Zoom anyway. And now she's like a Zoom expert, by the way. So she's got it down now. But shout out to Rad fans watching this right now. Rad is out again, 4K restoration.
You guys want to see? That's amazing. I was a BMX kid growing up. I loved Rad. I loved BMX Bandits. I loved all those fucking movies where the kids are riding bikes around, and I was like, hey, I'd do that.
We'll send you the link, Dan. Because
do you remember your childhood bike?
Me, I had a mongoose. I always had mongooses. I love those bikes. I don't know why. I had like, yeah.
I had it was like the Copperhead. Something like that. It was a snake. Yeah.
I had these crazy wheels. I had these like plastic hubcaps, and if I got to a certain, it was crazy.
It had like a sound or something.
Yeah, like a. I was like, I'm going into the fucking future.
There's GT bikes as well. Obviously, is one of those. If you watch Rad, there's Mongoose and GT are all over the movie, but GT Bart Connor is the actor who plays Bart Taylor, and he was a gold medalist, Olympian gold medalist, gymnast, and he plays the nemesis of Prue Jones in Rad, but he rides for GT or Mongoose. Shit, I should know that. Damn, one of those. But I think it's GT. No, it's Mongoose actually.
Whatever.
Anyway, whatever.
Keep going back and forth. They'll be like, fuck it. It's whatever.
But yeah, I mean, to come full circle, I love my mom. She's amazing. I got to go, I remember, on set of Rocky 5 because I could remember that. And that was pretty amazing because I was old enough to know, to want to watch those movies. It was cool to see the making of one. Anyway, it was awesome.
Yeah, that, you know what, Rocky is a peripheral gangster movie because when you first meet him, he's like breaking kneecaps.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he's the fucking monster.
That's right. Yeah. No, it's true. He's the guy that goes out there and collects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to break your fucking finger. So, okay, this is my impression of Al Pacino in The Godfather Part 3. Okay, and Robert, I want you to, I want you to critique this. Okay. This is Pacino in The Godfather Part 3 where he's having a low blood sugar attack. Okay.
Padre, you got a fucking candy bar. Oh, let me get a fucking candy bar. Oh, hypoglycemia, diabetes. It's better.
Wait, I gotta get my hair up.
It's better. Thank you, Father.
That was great.
You like that?
Yeah, that was. By the way, I'd love to see you do Dick Tracy, Al Pacino, and Dick Tracy.
Ooh.
What
the fuck? He's like just screaming the whole time.
There's a lot of mouth, a lot of like mouth, like wet lips and stuff like that. Yeah.
This is
Big Boy.
Pacino. No, I'll do that later. Anyway, I'm just going crazy. No, did you see? I don't know. Like, what was Pacino like on set in The Godfather? Because I think that's because everyone sees him, he's Michael, he's so reserved, for like the first two movies, he's pretty reserved.
Yeah.
And then that last movie, he's fucking Pacino, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know enough to be able to recall and describe him on set, but I do know that on Godfather 1, the studio did not want him to play that role.
Right.
And that was a famous story of Francis. Well, Francis was going to get fired 2 weeks into the shoot.
Crazy.
And he had to figure out a way to sort of save his job on that movie, which is a great story. But
wow,
they did not want Al Pacino. Al Pacino was really like a theater actor, and Francis like loved him and really wanted him, saw him in that role. What's really cool is if you go back, imagine a young director like Francis, and maybe times are different today, so it's not easy to just compare everything to now, but a studio is a studio, so it's probably a big opportunity for a young director.
Yeah.
And it was this real first like moment as like to really rise up and take on this bigger project. And he really was like, no, this is the guy, like this is the actor I want, and stuck to it.
Yeah.
And fought for Al Pacino, and was able to get him. And after like the studio, no way, not a chance.
The kid stays in the picture.
It's crazy, and it's just incredible. It's a great lesson that don't compromise like your work and the integrity of your work. Because
go ahead.
Yeah. No, there's that, and when he made after the first one, he had told me it was such a not great experience for him as like a filmmaker, and it ended up being something. He said that during the edit, people didn't even think it was like a good movie.
Wow.
Like when they were watching like rough cuts, like even the editor, like no one got it, and then it just kind of worked.
You're kidding me.
And it became this like sensation, unexpectedly, I think, for everybody. Where when the studio asked him to do the second one, he like didn't want to.
Wow.
He didn't want to make the second one. And he actually he said they should use Martin Scorsese, his friend. He's like, you should use my friend Martin, because they're really good friends.
Right.
He like genuinely was like, he would be great for this. Like,
wow.
He did not want to do it, and the studio insisted, and they finally just sort of gave in to his demands. And one of his demands was to call it Part 2.
Right.
Because he said there had never been a movie at that time that went by Part 2. It was always like number 2, the sequel, or the. So, anyway. Really interesting. I mean, it's totally crazy, amazing history.
If you want to see also more history with Francis, see Hearts of Darkness. We have to mention that because that's the documentary about Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ellie directed it. She was on set with him.
One of the best documentaries I've ever seen. It's about one of the best movies ever. So
yeah. Also, by the way, that's another great story about, I mean, I'm just not to stay on this topic too long, but
No, please.
Just another sort of great lesson, but scary. Not everyone can do this, but he was able to sort of take his Godfather money and roll it into Apocalypse Now. He ended up paying for that movie pretty much.
Yeah.
He owns that movie outright, I believe. So
I mean, if The Godfather was like turmoil for him to make, Apocalypse Now was his apocalypse, essentially.
It's crazy. I mean, yeah, watching the making of that is insane, but it's just a great.
I don't know how he made it through it. It was like his own personal war.
He just kept putting money into it. I mean, his own money. I mean, just to keep it afloat as like a company. It's like keeping a company open or something. It's crazy, but it worked, and we're lucky we all have that movie in our lives. But you'll notice there's new versions of it coming out, and this cut, that cut, da da da. I mean, it's amazing. He keeps reissuing and reworking it because it's his as a film.
Lance, Charlie, don't surf, Lance. Charlie, don't surf.
It's always a pleasure. You're coming on the show again, man. You're coming on, right? On
at the argument in a couple weeks.
Great.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our movie, Dan Fogler. Can I plug it?
Please.
So everybody's watching. If you haven't seen it yet, The Argument is the new movie that Dan stars in. I got to direct him in it, and that's where we met. and it was just a real it was a real pleasure to work with Dan. I'll pretend he's not here right now. Dan, cover your ears. But it was just incredible. Dan's amazing in the movie. And if you're a fan of Dan Fogler, which you are if you're here, you're going to love him in this movie. I think it's one of his like best performances, I will say. And yeah, and that's it. The Argument. It's out now.
He stopped his video to not be here so that you can speak about him.
Can we isolate that clip and just play it on a loop at the beginning over and over?
Yeah, that's the new intro right there.
Dan, did you play a clip from? Oh, there it is. Did you play a scene from the movie?
Yeah, I've been playing the commercial for the last
couple weeks.
Oh, amazing! Oh, cool. Okay, great. All right.
It's a trailer, Dan.
So I'll stop talking.
I played your awesome. I'm sorry, your trailer. I keep looking that up. I'm in the business, and I don't know what it is. So so we also played your song, which I love, the Argument song at the beginning from your amazing band. Or is it just you? Did you just do that, or did the band do that?
I did it myself. I went and recorded it myself, and I wrote it sort of on the spot because I love when there's a song from a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Like we usually it's like a big Disney movie that gets like a huge, you know, John Legend does the credits or something.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like there's so many great songs from movies that we go, like, remember there was the song from the movie, you know, the movie The Toy?
Yeah.
There's a great song from The Toy theme song. Anyway, there's just like great songs from movies that I think is a lost art. So in making movies I've written a song for every movie. The Unicorn had a theme song and Dreamland had a theme song. So I'm trying to keep this theme going.
And then you'll put out your theme song album eventually.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I gotta get more under my belt, but yeah, more theme songs.
You know, we love you on the show. I know you're a busy man. You are working on a secret project, and you have to run.
Thank you.
But thank you, man.
Thank you.
I feel like this was very legitimizing for my show. So thank you.
It was great. No, I feel like I really feel like we're hanging out right now, to be honest, because my laptop's on my knees right by my face, and you're right in there, like you're
like I'm on your knees. It's like I'm bouncing on your knees.
Bouncing baby Dan boy.
The more we video chat in this world we're living in, the more it becomes the new norm. Like right now I feel like we're hanging out, like we're really just together, which we kind of are. But
get your ass to Mars. I had to do a Schwarzenegger. Get your ass to Mars. Richter. I'm coming for you, Richter.
There's an incredible blooper reel for The Argument, which Dan has seen, but it's filled with Schwarzenegger.
There's a lot of helicopters in LA, and we have to stop filming, sound every time there's a fucking helicopter. So I would always go, "Get down, get to the chopper." I'd always just bust into the Schwarzenegger. Anyway,
by the way, can you do that on the movie you're shooting now? Are you allowed to break into Schwarzenegger? Do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, sure, whatever. Yeah, I mean,
it's so good, Dan.
Not a lot of helicopters.
You had a Jack Nicholson Shining moment that you did on camera while we were
Yeah. Anytime I meet anyone,
my pie. You were like talking about your pie.
My pie.
Yeah, there it
is. I like a nice warm pie. I like a good Nicholson. Nicholson's fun. Anyway,
I know we have to wrap, but I really appreciate. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, everybody watching.
Look forward to having you back in a couple of weeks.
I can't wait to be back with the whole cast. It'll be really cool.
Yeah, and we'll get deeper into it, and we'll get deeper into the pie,
and we'll do a reading of your new project.
And
with your mom.
Fuck it, shit.
That'll be a different episode.
Yeah, different episode. Let's and can you bring the blooper reel for that? I'd love to see.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, can we play it on it?
Yeah, we sure can.
Okay, great. I'll send it to you.
It'll be all argument, man. It'll just be an all argument episode.
Fine.
Sweet. All right, brother.
All right, cool. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
You too, man.
Thanks so much for joining us, Robert. Have a good one.
Take care.
And Daniel.
Yes, that's me. You know what I do? Anytime anyone is named Danny, I was going to say before, but I had a brain fart.
Danny boy.
I say on set all the time, there's someone named Danny, this girl Danny on set, and whenever she's one of the PAs, or no, she's an assistant director, and whenever I see her, I can't help it. I bust into Nicholson. I go, Danny, Danny, I'm coming to set, Danny. I'm coming to set. It's weird. I don't know why. It's ingrained.
I assume she dies. I assume she cracks up laughing.
You can't help it. And everyone's wearing a mask now.
So good.
Weird. Everyone's wearing a mask. So there's a lot of eyes. Everyone's just all, hi. Really making eye contact. Oh, my hand smells wonderful. Okay, let's bring Michael on.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is a phenomenal actor. You guys know him from The Sopranos, where he plays Christopher Moltisanti, and you definitely know him as Spider from Goodfellas. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Imperioli to the Dan Fogler 4D Xperience par excellence.
Whoa, you started.
There he is.
Hello.
There he is.
How are you?
Michael.
How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
Not bad, yeah. Yeah, what do you got behind you? The Last Story.
The Last Storm. These are my comic books, brother.
What is it? Fish what?
Fishkill?
Fishkill.
Are you from Fishkill?
No, I'm from Brooklyn.
There's a Fishkill, New York.
Yeah, of course. Of course I know. Yeah. My main character is named, he's a detective. He's named Bart Fishkill. And yeah, he kind of grew up near Fishkill, but it's kind of his namesake. And
you draw that or write it, or
no? I wrote it. Man. Yeah, you're a writer too.
Yeah.
You wrote.
Is it like
I'll send it to you.
What genre is it like?
I would say it's modern, dark, noir, with a little sprinkle of sci-fi.
Very cool.
Yeah. What are you writing, man? You have. I'll send you digital. If I get your email, I'll send you a bunch of digital comics.
All right.
If you want to read them, if you're interested.
I read a lot of comics actually.
Oh, awesome, man. Do you write comic books?
I have not. No.
You should.
Comic books.
If you like them.
I do like them. I like more narrative, graphic novel-ish stuff rather than superhero stuff. But I mean, not that's what you're doing. You're doing more sci-fi noir. I like that. I like noir comics.
Yeah. I kind of do the full spectrum, I understand that you write novels. You have something out right now, right?
I wrote a novel that was published 2 years ago. And I have a short story that's being published next week in an anthology called The Nicotine Chronicles with a bunch of other really great writers.
And you wrote a ton of Sopranos episodes.
I wrote 5 Sopranos, a couple of screenplays, 2 of which got made, many of which never got made. And never will be made.
That's the name of the game, man. I mean, all right. So here's the thing. I've been watching you and your movies acting for as long as I can remember, being a young actor. I'm 44. So I've basically been watching the span of your entire career. Man.
Okay.
And so I'm very pleased to have you on the show. And
thank you.
You are part of, where should we start here? Let's start this way. I understand you and I have something in common. You aren't a big driver. Is that true?
I'm what?
You don't really drive, right?
Oh, I do now. I didn't till I was in my 30s, till the
right.
Right. Yeah, I never learned. And when I got the pilot, Christopher Moltisanti, my character, his job was to drive Tony Soprano, which was kind of a problem, but I figured, they're going to close the street down and shit. It's not going to be like I'm driving all day long. It's be for little gaps and little moments. So I was like, I can wing this, I guess. But the first day I had to back down the sidewalk with extras running around out of the way, and we did it with Gandolfini next to me. We did it a few times. It was the first day I met him, actually. And like the 10th time I slammed into a tree really fast. They said, do it one more time, twice as far, twice as fast. So I went really fast and went right into this tree.
Yeah.
Airbags blow. Jim's like head snap. I mean, it was horrible. I don't think we were wearing seatbelts.
Holy fuck.
And I was waiting for like, I don't know what. And then he just started laughing. He found it hysterical, and then I started laughing, and the prop person was not laughing. They were very upset, and they found out I didn't have a license, and they were threatening to fine me and get me in trouble. And then they said, well, and they brought another Lexus over that was in perfect condition to have me do it again. That's how stupid.
That's Hollywood. I fucking love that.
And then they said, listen, if the show gets picked up, you have to have a driver's license. So I took lessons.
They made you, huh?
Yeah. Well, it was good. It got me over the, what happened is I didn't grow up in the city, but by the time I was 17, I was in Manhattan all the time. So
yeah,
that was the age I would have been doing it, and I didn't. And then it became like a phobia. Like I'll never learn,
Same thing.
So what's your history? You don't drive at all?
Okay, I'm 44. I let my license expire in my early 20s.
But you had a license. You did get one.
For a second,
From like driver's ed, like that kind of thing? In school?
Yeah, driver's ed. I'm still a daydreamer, okay? And that's my problem. Like, I'm a good driver, I got good reflexes, but I'll be driving and just somehow I'll end up on like the wrong side of the street and just like not realize. Just be like, so how's everyone doing? And everyone's like, get the fuck. Yeah, that's my deal. So when
that's a bad quality for driving.
Yeah, that's a New York. That's it. Like, so I only drive in movies and television shows, and it's crazy. I'm all like in Fanboys. I'm supposed to drive this van. I never drove a van before. So I was like, holy fuck. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I went to my buddy and we got U-Haul vans, and I practiced on U-Haul vans before. So I just feel like I was behind. In that van, the wheel was made out of silly putty. It was like falling apart. I couldn't, and they put, and everything I'm on the Goldbergs. I'm driving the kit car. I'm driving a fucking DeLorean. I'm driving and they're all cars from the 80s and from the 60s and the 80s. They're all falling apart, and they trust me. And I'm like the worst driver. So I remember learning that about you, and just being like, yes, there's another compadre, and I just remembered
such a New York thing, guys.
I just remembered totally New York. I just remembered another thing. I was in Take Me Home Tonight. I'm driving a fucking cherry red Cadillac BMW from the fucking 80s. They mounted
Cadillac BMW. What is that?
What did you say?
Cadillac BMW?
No. What did I say? Cadillac? No, I meant convertible.
Cadillac BMW.
Convertible.
Oh, convertible.
You see that? I'm a real car guy. So then, a convertible BMW.
That's an idea.
Yeah, right. We'll combine them. And I have to do a stunt. I have to fucking steal the car, drive it backwards. I have a fucking $100,000 camera mounted to the fucking.
They want you to do the stunt?
I did the stunt. I did it. I drive like amazingly in spurts, but if you get me on the highway, I'll be like, I'm just gonna go the wrong way down this ramp. I remember learning that about you on The Sopranos, when it was a scene where you're like chasing down a guy over some fucking lawn.
We were chasing him down, and then we were backing up. I don't remember exactly. I don't even know if the scene actually is in the movie, in the show.
It is. I've seen it. It's you. There's a scene where you're like, there's
that scene, but the actual. Whatever maneuver I was doing, I don't remember if we got it or we used it. Or it was, but it's if you've never done it, it's very intimidating. I mean, then we started. So right after I got my license, we took a trip, my wife and kids, to Florida. So I'm like, well, I have a license. I'll rent a car. So the car I rent turns out to be this giant like Cheyenne, which is like this. It's like just shy of a Humvee. It's just huge. And I really have no experience. And I got my kids in the car and I pick it up at Miami airport and I get on the highway and people are going like 100 in Miami on the highway. And it was just like the worst. I mean, just cars just zooming. You don't know what to do. Should you go that fast and keep up? It's very, very daunting, but you get used to it. I have to say now it's like automatic when I drive. It's easy.
Yeah. I just gotta, buckle down and just fucking get my license again. Okay. So you won an Emmy Award for.
I have won an Emmy. Yeah. For Sopranos.
Playing Chris. That's for the Sopranos for playing Chris. Yeah. That thing's a weapon. That thing.
Actually, right. It's actually right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right on my desk.
See, that thing, you gotta be careful with your face.
I don't know if you could see here, but it's taped, scotch taped it. It's broken during a move, and I scotch taped it together because it's an Emmy. You don't want to have a broken one.
Yeah, no. That's fucking hilarious. That's like my friend Lizzie Feldman. She has. She's a writer. She's going to be on the show at some point. She's got several of them. And I was saying, these are crazy times. She's living in LA. I was like, take a bunch of your Emmys and make like a punji pit, right in front of your door under your welcome mat.
That's what I did. And look what happened. It didn't hold.
It didn't hold any. Fuck. Okay. I'm going to tell her to get real punji sticks.
Tell her to be careful.
You want my take on Spider?
From Goodfellas?
Yes.
I mean, sure. I don't know. Do I?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't fucking know.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. My take on Spider.
Well, he was a real guy, first of all. You know that, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, tell me.
That was a real person. I wasn't in contact with his family or anything, but that was based on a real guy. That story is, I don't know if it went down exactly as portrayed, but it's pretty close to what happened.
Did you have a picture? Did you know what the guy looked like?
No, I don't think I wanted to. I mean, if I could have.
Yeah.
Do you know which crime family that was from?
No, not really. I mean, which crime family is portrayed in the movie?
Yeah, take the fifth.
I'm not even sure about
I'm going to the wiki.
Apparently, that's it's in the book that it's the Goodfellas is based on a book called Wise Guy, which is by Henry Hill with Nicholas Pileggi, and that that's his story. That it's not
the Lucchese crime family.
Is it Lucchese? Okay, one of the main five New York families. But yeah, that's based on a true story.
I should tell you, because I realized that Bernie and I both look like cops right now. I should tell you that this is my mustache. My mustache is for Fantastic Beasts. His mustache, I have no idea why. He's just being a mustache.
Sympathy pains, Dan. Sympathy pains. I saw you on our pregame yesterday, and I just I didn't want you to be alone in that mustache.
Grew it overnight.
I did. I grew it last night.
Oh, him. He said he saw you yesterday on TV, and he wanted to,
Okay.
You don't need excuses for mustaches.
Well, I didn't want to make you nervous, because I would feel nervous if I was the only one without a mustache.
I wouldn't.
Okay, good. Okay, here's my take on Spider. Okay, because I've seen this movie a bazillion times.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's one of those movies you can keep watch wherever it is. When you turn the channel, if it's in the middle, beginning, end, you can just.
It's arguably the best. And that's including The Godfather, arguably the best gangster film out there. You put Goodfellas in the ring with, in my opinion, with The Godfather and Godfather Part 2, it would hold its own.
Yeah, those are three of the best. I mean, they're very different. I mean,
oh yeah,
those two movies, but they all have their merits. That's for sure. They're all very good.
What Goodfellas does, what Scorsese does is there's not a lot of romance, which is, he doesn't like Godfather, romances it, and Goodfellas gives you the raw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of it has to do with, I think, the time period in a way. But not completely. I mean, Scorsese's vibe has always been very
Mean Streets, man. I mean,
Mean Streets,
yeah.
Taxi Driver. This is very New York, very
So
70s,
raw,
kind of paranoid and demented and stuff. But and Coppola is much more
that scene,
bigger and you know.
That's those two scenes. Okay, the first scene where you get shot in the foot, and then the follow-up scene. Okay, now those are the only two scenes you have in a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, and very memorable scene, like one of the main scenes that you think of in that movie, man.
Became that, yeah. We didn't know when we shot it, but it became that, yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about just everything about that scene in a second, but my take on Spider is that he has probably the most enormous balls in the entire fucking movie. Okay, and they, you know, they're fucking, oh, holy shit, fucking, they're throwing money down for fucking Spider when he fucking talks back to Tommy. And he's basically, here's the thing, Spider is a young Tommy. Spider is Henry. He's fucking, you know, he's making his way up. He's paying his dues, just like fucking, you know, Henry was working, you know, whatever, in the butcher shop and whatever, you know, whatever he's doing, the taxi stand at the beginning. You're doing the same fucking thing. And so if only Tommy could see that.
Well, the problem was Tommy was a psychopath.
Right, you know, right.
That'll throw a wrench in the works when you're trying to run a business.
Exactly. But if only he could like get his ego out of the way for a second. Everyone's going, oh! If he could see, if he just fucking joined in with all the other guys.
That's why he dies not long after that in the movie. That's why they had to kill him and why he doesn't survive, because it was more about his own, you know, neurosis and insanity than it was about keeping order and keeping the business flowing. But yeah, because normally they would, you know, whatever. I mean, sure, if you're a young guy, they'll give you shit or mess with you. They're not going to shoot you for something.
Here's
you know,
the thing.
If I agree with you, I guess, to some extent. Probably that's why he's there. That's probably why he was a wise ass, because he figured that's how these guys are. That's kind of what they expect, maybe.
Oh, okay. You think Spider did it because that's what they expected him to do?
I mean, that's what kind of the vibe is. I mean, also, you know, he had his foot practically blown off by the guy.
Right.
So he was a little bit upset.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if someone shot me in the foot and then busted my balls about it, I think I would risk my life to tell them to fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ultimately, you know, with those guys, though, you know, I mean, well, Tommy wasn't I don't think Tommy was. No, Tommy was not a made guy. But you know, with made guys, you know, you're in that world. You have to give respect, no matter what happens, even if they're wrong, because that's the code. That's how it works. But when we shot the first day I got to work, when we were rehearsing, because those scenes were all improvised. There was the only line that was written was beautiful, fuck yourself. Everything else was different. We made it up every time. But when we started rehearsing, I played him much more like a wise ass from the beginning. And Marty said, you know, maybe this guy's a little slow.
Huh.
So then I was like, all right, well, you know, so then I just kind of came up with this stuttering thing to kind of communicate that rather than play him dumb. And that made a big difference, because then it becomes even more senseless. He's more vulnerable, and it makes the shooting and then the murder even that much more cold-blooded, you know, because Marty's a genius and he knows how those things will have effect, you know, how those things will affect the movie.
You know, the moment where you say, when you get shot in the foot and you say, shattered the fucking bones, or like something like that. It's so fucking visceral, man. That's all improvised, right?
Yeah, everything except that last, except why don't you go fuck yourself was the only line in the script, and in the book as well. Well, you know, it was funny when we auditioned, like all the Italian American actors auditioned for that movie, right? If you were in a position to get auditions at the time, like anyone in New York who was doing plays or had an agent or, you know, pretended to have an agent, whatever, auditioned for that. And we all read Joe Pesci's character in I forget which scene, one of the scenes, but we all, that was what they handed everyone. They didn't want you to have the script. They didn't want you to know which character you were auditioning for. No matter which character he was considering for it, you were reading Tommy's lines. So I thought I was auditioning for that part. Because in the book, Tommy is like 21 in the book, especially in the beginning. Maybe he ages a little later on. And I was like 22. So I figure, oh, I'm auditioning for that. So then they're like, oh, that's really good. Come back and meet Marty. So I came back and met Marty, and I knew he liked improv. So I did a lot of improv, and he liked that. And then they called and said, you got the part. You're going to play Spider. I'm like, Spider? I went back to the book. Which scene is that? Like, because it was very small scene in the book.
Yeah.
Like, oh. You know, so I hadn't done anything. And I'm like disappointed now that my part in the Martin Scorsese movie with Robert De Niro isn't that big. That's how deluded we are as actors.
Oh, sure.
But, you know, that went away very quickly when the reality kind of set in of having to go to the set and actually, because I hadn't done much at all professionally by that point, outside of a couple of little things in movies and a couple of plays. So, you know, it was kind of a daunting prospect to be with those guys, but it felt very natural right away. They treated me with a lot of respect and like I belonged there. Marty and Joe and De Niro and Ray. It was great. Really great. I mean, because it could have been a crushing experience if they weren't patient and kind and welcoming.
Yeah. Fuck. I so want to work with all of those people as well. Okay, so who knows? You've been nominated for Golden Globe Awards. Okay, so you Goodfellas, Jungle Fever, all right, Bad Boys, Malcolm X, Basketball Diaries, Clockers, love that fucking Dead Presidents, one of my favorite movies. God damn. Okay, I've been watching you for a long time. Lean on me, that man.
Was the first movie I was in. That was a horrible experience.
What happened?
That was the first time I got cast in a movie. That was John Avildsen, who directed Rocky. He was a big a big director.
Crazy.
And I had one line which got cut because I was so nervous. And he was the opposite of Marty. He had no patience and was not kind. I mean, he was a little overwhelmed. He was shooting in an auditorium with like 1,000 teenagers, and he was just had no patience for anybody. And I had never been in front of a camera before. I didn't know where to look or how loud to talk. I mean, it was terrible. You know, I was I had done a lot in class. I had done some plays, but now all of a sudden there's this camera there, and I don't know. It was this big giant, and that was film. It wasn't video. It was this big giant, you know, Panavision monster. And, you know, I kind of mumbled the line because I figured if I mumbled it, they won't really notice me or something. And he came back after the first take, is like giving all the actors direction. He goes, and you with that line, if you don't give me something, you're out.
Oh,
so my first day on a movie set in my life, you know. So they cut the line, which was, hey, I'm going to be a star. That was the line. But that, and I am in the movie. You do see me on stage getting thrown out of school with all the bad kids, and I'm on stage with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
That was terrible experience.
That movie, though, well, it's in your bio here.
Well, here's the audition. The audition was fucking, I first got cast as an extra because I didn't have a SAG card. So someone said they need like people who look like teenagers. All right, you get your SAG card. They need a scene where somebody hands a gun to someone. So that's called a silent bit, and you can get your SAG card from that.
Right.
So I go out, and then they go like, we need a white kid to have a line. So they are, you know, now it's lunch break. They're in a cafeteria. It's 1,000 kids because they're all the extras. And they bring me over to meet the director. He goes, do you have a monologue? I'm like, a monologue? Like in the cafeteria with 1,000 kids screaming and kind of like stand up and do like a scene for you? He goes, yeah, that's why we're here.
Oh fuck!
It's not like in an office with you and him, or even in a theater.
Right.
It's in a fucking cafeteria with 1,000 screaming kids on their lunch break, and he's looking at his script and talking to the guy. I do the monologue. You know, it was terrible. So I did some monologue that I used to do, I don't know, for auditions, and they gave me the line. The whole experience sucked.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. That's another thing I realized we have in common is that I went on my first and only extra gig was for Summer Sam. Okay. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that a little later if you want to hear it. But you work with Spike Lee a lot, right? I mean, you work with him a ton.
Well, that's the one I brought them. I was the co-writer of that, and I brought that movie to Spike. I produced it with him.
Crazy.
Well, originally I was going to direct it, and Spike was going to executive produce it, but we couldn't get a deal because I had no experience, and it was a big movie, big budget, and it kind of died for a while. And then Spike said that he wanted to do it, which was solve the whole problem.
Right.
And I was going to play Adrian Brody's part, but the Sopranos got picked up and we did season 1, so I could only do a small role on one of my days off. I actually shot both shows on the same day. But, yeah, I mean, we had a 20th anniversary last year at the Metrograph in New York, and it was really, I hadn't seen it in a long time, and it really was.
Yeah. I like that movie theater, Metrograph. So, okay. So that movie helped me realize that I didn't want to ever be an extra, that I wanted to be an actor.
What scene?
Okay. So it's the scene where they're bringing Son of Sam into the courthouse. Okay. Okay. And it was
shouting, kill him, and all that.
Yes.
That's all true, actually. That really
say that
happened.
again.
That's true. That really happened.
Yeah. All that was true. Yeah, because they had all the footage and everything. They showed us some stuff because they were trying to match the look. So I come in as an extra. I was like, yeah, I'll be an extra on a Spike Lee movie. I was a kid. I was like fucking right out of college. Okay. I didn't look really, I had like crazy poofy hair, like really big hair, and I had a goatee. So I didn't like really look 70s, you know? And they're looking at me and they kind of liked me, and they were like, so they bounced me around. They were like, okay, we're going to make you like just someone in the crowd screaming. They were like, no, okay, he's gonna, it's like I had black shoes. They're like, oh, he's got black shoes. Bring him over here. We're going to make him a cop. Okay. I was like, okay. So I got like the real behind the scenes.
He's wearing a shirt. Put him in bed.
Yeah, exactly. So then they looked at my hair. They were like, no, he's going to be an undercover cop. So by the end, I had like this crazy side of, I actually did kind of look like a you know, a cop, undercover cop from the 70s. So anyway, so I'm out there, and I remember that I was just so wet behind the ears, you know. I was just like right out of college, so I was just like smiling, like, where's the camera? Like, holy shit, there's Spike Lee. Like Spike was walking by. He was a reporter in that scene. And
yes, he was a reporter. He was in there.
Yeah, so I remember he's doing his report, and I'm right over his fucking shoulder, and I'm holding people back, but I'm trying to get my face in the shot. Fucking shot. I'm a total asshole, and I'm holding these people back, and it's in between. And I realized that the flares, okay, these flares keep on going out, right, all along the trail into the courthouse. And Spike is getting pissed off because he's trying to get the shot, and the flares keep going out. And he keeps on, he's like doing his thing, and then he's yelling, cut. He's doing everything at once, you know. And he's sitting there, and I'm looking at him, trying to get his eye contact. You know, same thing, because I'm gonna get my SAG card, you know. And I'm like, you know, maybe I can get a talking part, you know.
Yeah, you get bumped up, you make more money, you get your line, you get it. Yeah, that's.
So I always end up saying the stupidest fucking thing. I don't know what it is. My brain, I just become an idiot in these situations where I'm talking to like an icon. And I feel like, and he's got those big eyes. He's got those like Garfield eyes, you know, and he's just like scanning the area, and he's just thinking, you know, he's thinking. And it's in between, and I'm trying to get his attention, and I think he's looking right at me, but he's really looking through me, you know. And I think, oh shit, Spike Lee's looking at me, And I was like, say something. And he says something like, damn, it's fucking flares, man. Let's get these flares going. And then I go, yeah, you'd think, man, it's a Spike Lee film. They'd have these unstoppable flares, you know? And he just looks.
That's what you said?
Yes, like a total fucking asshole. A total fucking asshole. And he looks at me with his enormous eyes. And he just looks at me straight through me. And then it's like he finally saw me for the first time. He was like, and I see him turn to somebody. He goes, this guy looks ridiculous. I was like, damn it. I drew attention to myself. I do look ridiculous.
I could totally see him saying that because he's very unfiltered, you know, especially on a movie set, you know, because he's totally honest about if you're bad, if you're good, if you got it, if you don't.
Yeah. And so at that moment, and they shifted the scene over, and I was like, just my elbow was in. I was like, fuck. So that was my lesson. I was like, I'm never going to be an extra. I'm just going to focus on being an actor.
It's not easy being an extra.
No, it's not. You are a fucking legend. So did you like working with Spike? We work with him on a lot, man.
I've done 6 projects with him. Yeah.
Wow. And so you guys have a great relationship, obviously.
Well, he's very loyal, you know, not just with actors, but a lot of crew people started off, you know, in kind of entry-level positions and over project after project worked their way up. Because he did not just the movies, but he did commercials and documentaries and all, you know, lots of other stuff. So he would work with a lot of the same people. It was almost like a whole film school of Spike Lee in New York. And now there's people who are, you know, that, you know, heads of departments and filmmakers unto themselves that came through his whole system. You know,
so you're saying I blew my shot. You're saying I blew my shot because I was a schmuck. Is that what you're saying?
Totally, because you looked ridiculous. Yeah, which you should have. You know, you should have not looked ridiculous. When I showed up, when I did Goodfellas, so I go to wardrobe, and the wardrobe guy dresses me like a waiter with like a white shirt and a black tie and like an apron or something like that. And I show up on the set, and Marty goes, where's the wardrobe guy? He goes, why are you dressing him like this? This is not a legitimate establishment. This is not a restaurant. Why is he dressed like a waiter? Give him some. And they didn't have any clothes for me. Because you know, I was small and scrawny, and everybody else were these big, you know, most of the extras were big fat Italian guys. So they had to go.
How tall are you? You mind me asking? You say you're tall. So you're 5'9".
Small, scrawny. Back then I was a lot scrawnier, but
you come off much taller. You look like you're like 6 feet or something.
We all do, don't we? We're always disappointing people. He'll look much bigger on TV.
I know
that all the time. But anyway, then they had to go get clothes because we were shooting in an old Italian neighborhood anyway. So they had to go get some clothes in some men's shop down the corner for me. So and the clothes in the men's shop looked like the period clothes. They hadn't really changed from the 70s to the 60s to the late 80s.
Ooh, were they scratchy? They're always scratchy. Those
polyester
clothes.
Kind of, yeah. I get knits or whatever. I had some blue knitwear.
My good buddy James Zappi, who I write with frequently, comic books and movies and stuff. He has 2 questions for you. You want the non-Sopranos question, or you want the Sopranos question?
He can ask me whatever he wants.
Okay, here's the non-Sopranos. He's a big fan of Life on Mars. Oh. And he thought that your portrayal was brilliant. And he says, was the cast on board with how the showrunner decided to end it? And where were you hoping to see your character arc go in that show?
Well, what happened was the show didn't get good. You know, that should have been a cable show. If that show was on cable, it would have had should have been like a 13 episode season, HBO at the time or Showtime or something. And that probably would have done a few seasons because it was a little too weird for a network cop show at that time. So the ratings weren't good. And the network told the showrunners, who's great, Scott Rosenberg, great screenwriter, said, you know, you're only going to do 20. And we were probably at episode 16 at the time. So he wrote, you know, he didn't have an ending for it because we were hoping to do 5 seasons or whatever. So He wrote an ending. He made up an ending.
Crazy.
The show would have a completion to it because we knew it was over. Where was I hoping to go? It's hard to say. I was hoping to keep going. I mean, it was so much fun. I mean, to work on the writing of that show was very specific and really good and rich. And working with Harvey Keitel was tremendous. We had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot from working with Harvey. He takes his work very, very, very seriously, and puts a lot of thought and honesty into his work. He's really
I love Harvey.
Fantastic.
Harvey's a little guy too. He sat behind me at a play once, and I was like, "Holy shit, we're the same height, man!"
Yeah, but very, powerful.
Yeah, he's like a bulldog. Yeah.
Well, he's like 81 now, so I don't know if he's
what.
Yes, he's 80.
You're
80
kidding me.
No, I know
It
it's
does
crazy.
not look like he's 81.
No, he always took care of himself and stayed in physical shape. But he's
holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, because I think he turned 70 like while we were doing Life on Mars, or right around that time. He had his 70th birthday party.
Amazing. You're so cool, dude. So you have the Steve Shrippa. I've done a couple different comedy things with him. You do a podcast with him, right?
We do a Sopranos rewatch podcast. Yeah,
that's fun.
27. Well, we have 27 in the can, so we're about a third of the way through the entire series.
Yeah, the wife just said to me, "Oh shit, you got Michael Imperioli on," and she was like, "Let's start watching The Sopranos again." I was like, "Yeah, why not, man?" Because I haven't seen all the episodes, so we're gonna start doing that. I've seen like seasons, like bunches, clusters from different seasons.
We had neither Steve nor I had seen it since the initial airing of the show, which was one reason why we thought it would be cool to do a rewatch.
Yeah,
we have not looked at that stuff.
And how do you feel about it? I guess we'll listen to the podcast, but how you feeling? You feel good about it? You should.
Yeah, I mean, because I have to watch it very carefully, because we examine it in a lot of detail. So I'm amazed at how well it holds up, and I'm amazed at a lot of the performances and the writing and the filmmaking. It's there's a reason why people are. What happened was a whole generation of like young people are obsessed with The Sopranos, like kids in their late teens and 20s who were not even, maybe not even born when we first went on the air. And that I noticed in the last like year and a half, which is another reason we were like thinking maybe a podcast could work, because it's during quarantine, it was like HBO's #2 show or something. This show's been off the air for 13 years.
Crazy.
Weird.
But actually, there's a fan question that leads kind of right in. So you guys are rewatching the Sopranos. Do you have any thoughts on the upcoming Many Saints of New York and
Newark?
Having of Newark and having Michael Gandolfini playing a young Tony.
You're right.
Well, I have high expectations for the movie. A, because David Chase wrote it. B, because Alan Taylor directed it. They have a great cast of some really good actors. And Michael, I've never seen Michael act. I know Michael and he's very smart, bright kid. I have a feeling he's going to be fantastic. And from what I've heard, he is. And I hear the movie's really good.
I'm excited to see it. I love Gandolfini. I've been watching him since True Romance, man. I've been like, I was like, I like this guy. There's something different about him. He's incredibly.
That was one of those where a great actor meets a great role. That's perfect, and it becomes that indelible, perfect storm. And that was him. Gandolfini and Tony Soprano certainly achieved that.
Yeah, and he was like man, I wish he could have done a lot more. It's was such a still a huge fan of him.
Yeah, he was 52 years old when he died. Very
crazy. La Dolce Vita is your rock band?
The name of the album.
Okay, what's your rock?
It used to be the name of the band, and then we changed the name of the band to Zopa, Z-O-P-A. But we named our album La Dolce Vita just to really confuse everybody who's ever listened to us in the past. But
Gotcha.
We recorded this album a few years ago and just kind of let it sit for a while, and we released it this summer on Bandcamp.
Okay, so one more question before we get into Bernie's mobster movie bracket. My last question is: you are, it says you're a Buddhist.
Yeah, Tibetan, in Tibetan tradition.
Beautiful. When did you start that?
2007, the year The Sopranos ended.
And what made you move over to the light side of the force?
Spending too much time on the dark side of the force.
Gotcha. And
As
what
it
is
tends
it?
to.
What has it done for you, brother?
I think you'd have to ask people that know me. I mean, I'd like to think it's made me a better person, more present, maybe more kind, but that's, subjective, right? The people who know me might have differing opinions, but what I like about Buddhism is it's about dealing with your own mind and your own thoughts. It's not really it's not a theistic religion. Buddha was not a god. It doesn't believe in a creation story and omnipotent God or anything like that. It's really about dealing with your own stuff. That's really what it's about, particularly the ego. And that's why I like it. I mean, I was attracted to a lot of different spiritual paths, and I got into a lot of different ones, and I'd read these books, and then as soon as the book would be done, I'd be back where I started, and I had no practice. And then somehow Buddhism, I found some really great teachers, particularly one really great teacher, and then you find a practice within that you could follow. And then it becomes, you start to habituate some of those concepts and practices, and hopefully they take root and have an effect. Actually, I teach meditation class.
Do you?
Yeah, the last month, every Monday. What happened was, since I've been, I went on Instagram late last year, and I post mostly about artists that I love, musicians, writers, actors, movies, all that, and Buddhism, some political stuff. And a lot of people were asking me about meditation, like DMing me, how do I meditate?
Yeah.
And I would text them back and give instructions. It started happening a lot. So I was like, what if I posted, if I made a video, would you guys watch it? And a lot of people did. So we decided to do it on Zoom. So now we have this week's number 5, the 5th class, a couple of 200-300 people from all over the world, in Saudi Arabia and Israel and Indonesia and Italy and US, South America, all different religions meditating together, learning meditation. It's been very cool.
I do transcendental meditation. That's what
What is transcendental meditation? Because I don't really know what
transcendental meditation. Yeah, I learned it in you could learn it in like a long weekend, basically. It's very simple. What can I tell you? It's wow, it's like basically meditation 101.
That's the name of my class.
Is it? I'm a little psychic.
That's the name of the class I teach.
Okay.
Is it about like letting go of thoughts and recognizing that you're thinking and letting the thought go and that kind of thing?
I'll say what I can say about that is that they give you a mantra, very simple thing. And that mantra, when you close your eyes, is kind of like your paddle in the darkness. Okay. And you're kind of going along, you're saying your mantra, you're swimming along, and then a little bubble, a little thought will pop up. And you're supposed to appreciate that and not be negative about it. You're supposed to say, oh, good, because what's happening now is that people, when they're meditating, they're like, oh, fuck, God damn it, pop the bubble, God, stop with the thoughts. No, when you're in this state, that is when your body, that needs to work things out, your mind needs to work things out, the subconscious needs to release these thoughts. So that's what's happening. You're swimming along and that thing that happened today comes up. Let it go. Appreciate that it came up.
That's basically what I teach. We do it with our eyes open for the most part.
Oh, wow.
Tibetan Buddhist tradition, mostly with the eyes open.
Yeah.
I don't teach mantra stuff, but I've done it in Tibetan Buddhism. but very similar, working with the mind, working with thoughts. And I say exactly the same thing, because everyone thinks I can't meditate, I have too many thoughts. Well, that's why you meditate, because the mind thinks. That's what it does. You're going to have thoughts. We all do.
Yeah.
If we didn't have thoughts, we wouldn't have to meditate, And then some people, like you said, it's not about judging the thought. You don't label, you don't say it's bad, it's good. You don't follow it. You leave it where it is. And we don't go to the mantra. What we do is just go back to the breath, focus on the breath. I kind of use a metaphor of like a clear sky, and a cloud. Like the thought is like the cloud that emerges from the sky and then dissipates back into it like a thought, just to have some kind of thing to visualize a little bit. But it's very, very, very similar.
Very similar. And yeah, the idea is that you get enough of these thoughts coming up, and then you get to a place where it gets pretty placid. And then that's the place where you want to be, where the chatter shuts off, and then that's really the transcendental place where you can get to kind of instantly when the shit house is going up in flames and everyone's freaking out.
During daily life, during not on the cushion. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's the same deal.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so you have time to hang out with us and do like a game about mobster movie bracket that Bernie.
I'm probably not very good at it, but I'll try.
Yeah, we'll see what our favorite. See our favorite. Go ahead, Bernie.
What we've done, Michael, is we have come up with some polling and read a bunch of articles and put together the top 16. You might want to debate this, but this is the 16 top mafia movies that we came up with in this bracket.
But there's probably a few things that I haven't seen, and you're going to be really surprised because I haven't seen all of them. But.
That's fine. Yeah. And in some cases,
there's with these, Bernie. You came up with these.
Dan took exception to a few of my rankings, but I assure you a scientific process was used. People were polled, and this is where we're at. So I'm going to do a quick screen share here with you guys. I'm going to put the bracket up there for you guys to see. And you guys are going to vote. Since we don't have another person in with us, I'll take the third vote. And so we're going to decide the best mobster movies of all time. So here, we're going to do this screen share. Here we are. You see the bracket up on your screen there, Michael?
I do, yeah.
Beautiful. All right.
But you don't have the best one on there.
Oh.
We don't?
Which one are you looking for?
You're missing the best mob movie of all time.
What is it?
As far as my thing. The Killing of a Chinese Bookie by John Cassavetes starring Ben Gazzara.
Wow.
Oh, deep.
That's a good one. I'd take Road to Perdition off in a second and put that.
There was some debate. The Irishman didn't make it on here either, so there was some debate.
Oh, this is great. Now there's movies will come up that I'm just going to put on the list, man. That's awesome. Cassavetes.
But I haven't seen a lot of these, to be honest with you. I'll be honest.
We'll give it a whirl. So Guy Ritchie's just happy to be here, right? Tough lie for some of his films, but number 16, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, taking on The Godfather Part 2 as our number one rank.
Are you kidding? What?
Good luck.
Wow.
So where do you guys come out on The Godfather versus Lock, Stock?
I mean, I've seen
Godfather Part 2.
I've seen Lock, Stock once, and I've seen The Godfather Part 2 probably every holiday for the last 30 years.
I haven't quite thought of that as a holiday thing.
I don't think I need to.
Right. Okay. So The Godfather Part 2 is moving on. In what could be a close matchup, number 8, A Bronx Tale, taking on number 9, Snatch. Can Guy Ritchie get one of his films passed? Bronx Tale is a good movie.
Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale for Michael. Bronx Tale for Dan. All right, Bronx. I'll take Snatch for the record, but Bronx Tale is moving on to face The Godfather Part 2 in the next round. The Sting is the number 13 film against number 4, Scarface.
See, but I love The Sting. The problem is the lead guys in The Sting are not gangsters, right? It's
sure.
Robert Shaw's a supporting, so it's. I think I never really considered it a gangster movie, although you could make a claim that it is, but
that'll come up again later.
That's a tough one because I love both of those movies. I think they're both tremendous.
Tony Montana. Hawkeye.
Yeah, The Sting is one of my favorite fucking movies ever.
It's a really good movie.
God damn. I love that. I was just thinking about that
Raking
today.
you guys over the coals with this one.
That's a tough one.
The noses.
All right, putting your
Amen.
feet to the fire.
Fucking, I gotta go with Scarface. Give me a break. I mean,
If
I
you're
love Scarface.
talking gangster genre, then you'd have to give it because like I said, I've never really thought of The Sting as a gangster movie, although there are
Right.
gangsters in it.
Right.
I always thought it's a grifter movie more than a gangster movie. So give it to Scarface because that is a gangster movie.
All right, fair
It
enough.
also has the pedigree. 'cause
Scarface
it's a remake
moving on.
of the Paul Muni Scarface, which was
Correct.
So it has that pedigree, so it gives it a little bit more cred in the gangster genre.
All right, the OG, The Godfather, Part 1, is 5th ranked in this bracket, which might rankle a few people, taking on number 12, Gangs of New York.
Whoa.
Gangs of New York and The Godfather.
Godfather.
I mean,
yeah, it's good.
The Godfather. How do you
That your
compete against
first child is a masculine one.
That's a tough one.
I mean, wow, The Godfather is the greatest movie of all time. Okay, first of all, Daniel Day-Lewis is doing a De Niro impression from The Godfather Part 2. I'm pretty sure
kind of,
that's what's going on there.
Kind of.
And so they owe everything to The Godfather. And The Godfather, even with Brando reading his lines off of Duvall's face, I mean, the guy could read a goddamn telephone book and I would be happy. So
But
The Godfather,
what's funny is if somebody can Google this, Google how old Brando was when he made that movie.
Right, he was like 50 or something.
I don't
right?
even think he was that old.
You're kidding. There was an amazing transformation. Coppola was like
He wasn't that old when he made it. He was
yeah,
not
he
that
wanted-
much
he
older.
wanted- He wanted Brando. There's famous test footage of this where Brando looks like Brando. He looks like a hippie
Yeah,
with
the
his hair
crispy-
long.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
that.
and then he puts the cotton in his cheeks and he slicks his hair back with the black.
I
like
think he might have been
street polish.
46.
That's crazy. That's
Who's got
2
a-
years older than.
Who can Google
47 years old when he played Don Vito Corleone.
That's fucking crazy.
Crazy.
So that means that he was maybe 10 years older than those guys.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, Al was younger, but probably Duvall maybe. Yeah, only 47. You think of him as much older, right? In that character.
What a genius! Fucking genius.
Absolutely. All right. So Godfather's moving on. Yeah, Gangs of New York now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Godfather. Of course.
Next side of the bracket features the number 2 film in our total ranking, Goodfellas. You might be familiar with that. Against The Road to Perdition at number 15. I have a feeling Goodfellas is going to take this in a clean
Road
sweep.
to Perdition doesn't belong in this game.
Okay.
Yeah. Why is it in there?
In my not so humble opinion.
There was a fan vote to get Road to Perdition in there is where we went with that.
Did he sound like this?
I bet he did. That's exactly.
Oh, your Hank's laugh is so good.
It's okay.
All right.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas moves on.
Goodfellas is
Donnie. Yeah. I think appropriately ranked.
I haven't seen either one of those movies.
I think you haven't seen Goodfellas. Or
I swear to God, I haven't seen Donnie Brasco or The Departed.
Really?
No.
Yeah, that's our. Oof.
You got to see.
Good. I know I have to. It's one of those things I have to see, and I just never did.
The collection of talent in Departed is just like
Pacino. This is arguably in Donnie Brasco. Arguably, Depp's one of his finest moments, and Pacino is incredibly. This is my impression of Pacino, and I'm doing a lot of Pacino today. But this is Pacino the way he sits in the movie. Oh, the way he sits. Oh, he sits like this in the movie. Oh, nice fucking chair. Nice fucking chair.
I got to see it now. Now you just made me want to see the movie. I'm gonna.
There you go.
We're done. I'm watching it.
All right, Dan, Donnie Brasco or The Departed?
Hold on.
Where are you at?
Okay, but Nicholson in The Departed. What's this so sad? Oh my God.
So I can't vote on this one. I haven't seen it.
Am I right? Am I
Who directed? who directed Donnie Brasco?
Oh, that's a good question. Who fucking was that?
Someone figure that out right now.
On it.
Donnie Brasco, not sure. The Departed, I know who did that. Fuck.
No,
I think I have
Mike
to
Newell.
Oh, Mike Newell. Yeah.
I think I have to. This is crazy. I think I have to choose Donnie Brasco over The Departed. Oh my god.
Ooh. All right. I'm taking
crazy.
Departed. So Michael, throw a dart on the wall, just based on.
Am I a rat?
We'll give it to Al. Give it to Al. Al. I love Al.
Thank you.
All right, Donnie Brasco's moving on. Casino taking on Once Upon a Time in America. Casino taking
That's
on
a
Once
really
Upon a Time.
tough battle. Those are two really epic, huge, amazing films.
Absolutely.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, were there two versions of Once Upon a Time in America?
Yeah. There's like a TV version, which is like 2 hours, and then there's like a movie version, which is 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, what they did was they had something called the Godfather Epic, which aired on NBC in the 70s, and they edited part 1 and 2 in chronological order over like a few nights during a week. It was called the Godfather Epic, and it was the only time I saw the two movies, not back to back, but edited together in time order. It was very
crazy,
kind of interesting. Yeah.
How long was that movie? Like 4 hours? 5, or no, they showed it over
maybe 5.5. I don't know.
Wow.
Plus commercials, because it was NBC, so it might have been like all week, 2 hours every night or something.
The year is dedicated to the Godfather.
No.
Once Upon a Time in America, you got to see the movie. Young De Niro,
so good,
really good. That's a really tough battle. Why don't you have Godfather 3 on this list?
That's a good question.
It's just like not fair at that point, right? 1 and 2 are on here. I mean,
too much fucking Godfather. Too much fucking Godfather. I try to get out of the Godfather, but the Godfather.
You know, they're coming out with they're revamping it 30 years on.
Yeah, he's doing a new cut.
I heard, we just heard from a good source that
Coppola.
That is good.
I'm sure it's good. Well, I mean, I was very disappointed with it when I saw it for the first in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
I just didn't, because 1 and 2 feel like they weren't shot that far apart. They feel like they're cut from the same cloth, but 3 felt like a totally different world and a very different vibe. But I haven't seen it in a long time. I may feel differently now, especially if there's a new cut.
Yeah, I'm excited actually. I want it to be fantastic. You want it to be the crowning jewel on that.
You're gonna watch it on its own, Dan, or are you gonna binge 1 and 2 going into the new 3?
I think I'm just gonna jump on 3 and then get real nostalgic, go back to 1, watch 2, and then just be like, you know what? I'm gonna watch 3 again right now. So first of all, Casino. Casino has one of the most visceral, and I believe that Greg Nicotero from The Walking Dead did the special effects for this scene. The bat scene where Pesci gets his, everything.
That was horrific.
Oh, horrific. And the brother, I will have nightmares about that forever. As much as I love, how do I make a choice here?
That's a really hard choice.
I can't do it. You know what I'm gonna do? God, that's really hard. I'm gonna go with Casino. Even though I've seen Once Upon a Time in America, I can't watch that in a full sitting for some reason. I haven't been able to watch that whole movie, even though I've watched it a bunch over the years.
Yeah, let's say Casino. I'm with you.
Right?
Casino. It's close. All right. It's really close, though.
It's really close. But
Casino is moving on.
When I think when I think about Casino, when I think about the bat scene, and I think about the scene where De Niro escapes the exploding car, I fucking think about those scenes. It's good shit.
And I love Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone, best performance. Best performance.
She's awesome in that movie.
Yeah. All right.
Our final matchup in the opening round. Yeah. No, incredible.
I haven't seen American Gangster, and I barely remember. I saw The Untouchables when it came out in the movie theaters, and I barely remember it. So you're gonna have to take the lead on that one.
Wow, this is harsh. because The Untouchables is like one of my favorite movies.
I want him dead. Want his whole family dead.
That's one of De Niro's best.
Yeah.
Enthusiasms. The whole you got to see that movie, Mike. Oh, you've seen it.
No, I've seen Untouchables, but in the movies when it came out. I haven't seen
when it came out a long time ago.
I've never seen American Gangster.
Wow, American Gangster's good, but I can't put that against The Untouchables. Fuck.
Untouchables beats it, huh?
Yeah.
That's De Palma at one of his best. Yeah.
I love the Untouchables. The music is so good. It's such a it's actually another character almost. But the score to Untouchables, the do 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 do, it's scored super super well. It's a phenomenal film.
They put one of yours in the hospital. You put one of theirs in the morgue. There's so many fucking quotable lines from that movie. Okay, so I guess it's The Untouchables.
All right, The Untouchables moves along. So that brings us to an Elite 8, and we have to make some even harder cuts. We're going to start with The Godfather Part 2 versus A Bronx Tale. Yes, A Bronx Tale. Godfather Part 2.
Okay, we're going through again.
I go immediately to
Gets tougher.
Godfather Part 2.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Then we have Scarface going against The Godfather Part 1. This is probably this is a Sophie's choice right here.
I'd go with The Godfather.
Godfather.
All right.
God
Godfather.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. And you know what that sets up when we come back to the final four? That's going to be Godfather versus Godfather Part 2. I love it.
Of course.
All right. Goodfellas is taking on, I believe, the Donnie Brasco moved on. Yes.
I guess. I haven't seen Donnie Brasco, but Goodfellas is tough to beat.
Goodfellas is moving on. And then we have Casino against The Untouchables.
Oh fuck.
Whoa.
Oh, fuck.
I'll go with Casino.
Whoa. I gotta go with Untouchables. What's the tiebreaker, Bernie?
Oh. I will get roasted by the audience for this. But my personal preference is going to be Untouchables. The audience is going to kill me for this.
Oh, that's
all right. Casino should move on, but it's going to be the Untouchables.
There's no shame in that. That's a tough one.
All right. Last round through, final four. It's two matchups. We have on one side of the bracket, The Godfather versus The Godfather Part 2.
Oh, fuck.
And then we have Goodfellas against The Untouchables. It could have been Goodfellas against Casino, and you got some Pesci on Pesci. And De Niro on De Niro. Yeah, right?
Okay. I mean, that's happening. Oh, no.
What if we put 1 and 2 together in chronological order like they did on NBC?
Push them together.
And call it a day, and they win. But
that's not really there we go.
That's not the way he made it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I have a surprise answer. Okay, so I think I have to choose The Godfather 2 versus The Godfather because it has everything in it.
Yeah, the backstory. You get the De Niro bit.
But you don't have Brando.
You don't have Brando at all. Fuck, you don't have Brando.
No. This is a really tough one because like the old world stuff in Italy and then in Little Italy with De Niro is amazing.
Shit, I gotta go with.
But the first one is just
Brando too much.
Junk. That's
with
really tough choice.
I gotta go with the first one. Then I forgot Brando's not in the second one. I'm an idiot.
Because in some way, if you think about it, it's not too different. It's not like. It's called Part 1 and Part 2. So in some ways, it's the same movie, just divided into parts. Is it meant to be judged separately?
I know the guy that put this together. I think we can take Michael's advice into account here and make it The Godfather Anthology on one side of the bracket. And then we've got to decide between Goodfellas and The Untouchables.
Oh, my God. You made an executive decision there.
I did.
Wow. Well, now we know what's going to win.
Well, I know a guy who knows a guy.
So it's got The Godfather Part 1 and 2. You know,
see helicopters.
The anthology. Well, I think that works, but I think Goodfellas beats The Untouchables. I think Goodfellas.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Goodfellas beats The Untouchables. Now you're telling me now it's the Goodfellas versus all three Godfather movies. Come on.
The first two, not the third.
I guess the first two.
The third will fuck.
But still, you can't. That's like Voltron. That's like Voltron.
That's
too much.
That's like the Lakers and the Clippers.
Oh my God.
Versus
Who's
the
your team?
Warriors, right? That's not fair, no?
That is so. You're a basketball fan, Michael.
I'm a Knicks fan.
That's my condolences. I mean,
no, we have nothing to. Don't deserve any sympathy. We're very happy, despite not winning titles. We love our team.
Well, the team's great. It's the ownership. It's Dolan, but you know.
Yeah, it is. It's going to a Knicks game is still a tremendous experience.
Oh, there's nothing like being at the Garden.
Nothing. I go, a couple of times a year, and it's always the best.
Michael, you were just like, I don't know, but you were an expert on the fucking bracket, man. That was awesome.
Didn't see a couple of.
That's okay, but you had some amazing insights on it. All right, so. Thank you, Bird. That was excellent. That we all right. So who?
My
won?
pleasure, guys. It's we usually do the fan vote on the final two. So we've got the Godfathers going against Goodfellas, and we'll
but you
we'll
can't
come back
really.
to that and
It's
see.
not really a fair. You have two movies against one, so you
Let me
have
tell
to
you something though.
all three of them. I don't know.
Let me tell you something. I would have had a surprise answer for you. Let me tell you something,
What was
because
it?
I would have said Godfather 1 takes out Godfather 2, and then Godfather 1 versus Goodfellas. I would have had to say Goodfellas.
I would have agreed.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I can't. You know what? I cannot pick between those films. They're just towering giants in their field, in their genre. It's the thing is it's art, so it's hard to you don't have points and statistics besides box office, which doesn't really mean that it's a good film per se. So it's hard to quantify and qualify these things this way and codify, but I don't know. I won't be able to make a decision. Split decision. The judges
the fans are gonna have at it. Michael, I do have a question for you from our chat, and we're gonna 90-degree pivot away from the gangster movies, but this is about your time on Chopped, which Marianne Butler says was amazing. What is your favorite dish to make at home?
Something very very simple, macaroni pasta with like a marinara sauce, a marinara sauce, if you say it the correct way. That's because that when it's done right is tremendous, and when it's done wrong, it's very simple, but if it's done wrong, it's horrible. And there's nothing better than when that's done right. So I would say that's my favorite thing to make.
Absolutely.
I make a pretty good bolognese. I make a nice chicken parm. That sounds fucking great, actually, right now.
Yeah.
You were on a cooking show, right? Didn't you? Or didn't you?
I won the celebrity tournament of Chopped. I won out of 16, just like this was. How many was this? 16? These bracket?
Yep, it was a bracket of 16.
16 celebrities for charity, for $50,000 charity award.
What was your winning dish?
Right, you sent it.
Chopped goes. You do appetizer, entree, and then the third round is a dessert. So the final round is always dessert. How it was structured was the first day was 4 actors, the second day was 4 comedians, the third day was 4 musicians, and the fourth day was 4 athletes, and then the winner from each day did the final day.
That's awesome. That's
Michael,
awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Michael, you're a lot of fun, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. I hope you had a good time.
I did have a good time.
Okay, good.
Good. I hope we didn't offend anybody with our choices, but if we did, I don't really.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Fuck them.
Anyway, right?
I'm gonna send you a bunch of my comic books, and I'd love your feedback.
I'd rather hard copies if you have them.
Okay. Yeah, cool. It's gonna be a little longer, but yeah, totally. I'll send them to you.
I got all the time in the world. Where am I going?
Okay, great. Thank you, man. Bern, you want to wrap this up? Fucking Michael Imperioli, everybody. Give him a fucking round of applause.
My pleasure.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you. Dan, my man, thank you as always. It is always a blast to do this show with you and to work on this and put this stuff together. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us wherever you are. There you are. And along the vast worldwide NerdBot Media Network, we appreciate your support. You can still share this video cast live on Facebook or through YouTube. Drop that link to some friends. Tell us what you thought about the bracket. Where did we go right? Where did we go wrong? We will take all the hate and all the love and we'll love you all just the same. Our next show is going to be on September 26th. It'll be the cast of The Argument, Dan's new film, along with director Robert Schwartzman. We're going to have some of the cast there. It's going to be fun. Bring your best dumb argument with your significant other story. Like what just a small thing just became the biggest production of an argument ever. We want your fan stories. I want to read some fan stories if we can, and get that ready. It's going to be a fun show. And then October the 3rd, the day before the release of the finale of The Walking Dead, we've been waiting with bated breath for months and months for this thing. Oh my God. We're going to have a lot of The Walking Dead cast on with us the day before. That is October 3rd. Dan and friends will be here. We will be all Walking Dead that show. It's going to be a blast. Dan, you got a tease? You got a tease?
Well, no, I just wanted to thank the audience, and I wanted to thank you, Bernie, and Nerdbot, and Alvin, and Michael, and Robert for coming on, and go see the movie. And I just want to say one thing right at the end after you fully wrap up, Bern.
All right. Well, that is it for me, the Geek Gatsby, Bernie Bregman. It is my pleasure to be with you guys. It is my pleasure to hang out with these folks, with Dan, with Michael, with Robert, with producer Elvin over at NerdBot Studios, 2 miles away from the fires in Los Angeles County. But thank you guys so much. Dan, last words.
Thank you, everybody. Ever since I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Good one.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Michael, thank you.
See you, man.
You're a man.
From rags to riches.